Hello and welcome to this week's episode of your Power Packed Podlets. My name is Rachel and I am your host for these mini magical journeys together. And this week's episode is going to be a reflective one, and I'm going to be taking you on a journey to reflect on how far you have come already, to tap into the gratitude of what you've already created, what you've already achieved, what is in your present moment, and then from this place move forwards to create more incredible things, more incredible experiences. And the reason I was inspired to share this subject matter with you this week is I've been writing the manuals for the school. I've been writing a manual for our certification program, and I'm in the process of writing the manual for our business and our personal development levels. And as I was writing the certification manual, it required me to really bring together everything that I've studied and learned and observed over the last 23 years, but really before that as well. And so it's been a process not just of bringing knowledge and wisdom and frameworks together, it's also been traveling in time, been bringing memories up to the surface, reconnecting with teachers and mentors from my past. And this process has been really profound. In fact, writing the certification manual has felt like the biggest milestone in my business to date because of what it means to bring a life's work, a life's body of work into one text. And upon reconnecting with teachers that 20 years ago were inspiring me, understanding what they brought to the table and how it shifted my way of thinking, I suddenly realized how, even though I wasn't consciously aware of the depth of what I was learning through them, because at the time where I was at in the understanding of myself and the programs that were still getting in the way of my happiness, and back 20 years back I was still recovering from depression. Now seeing what it is I bring to the world, I realized that so much more landed on an unconscious level than I was aware of at that time. In fact, a lot of what I learned from those teachers I then began to apply as a fitness coach, as a yoga teacher, completely unaware of how much those teachings were shaping me, how they impacted how I was leading others all the way at the beginning of my career. Now being able to see it in retrospect, I can understand it, and coming back to these teachers and hearing their words, hearing what they were bringing to the table, it takes my breath away. Because what you are exposing your mind to now, the lessons, the books, the documentaries, the movies, the conversations, the education, all of that is shaping you unconsciously. And everything you're listening to is also shaping how you show up, how will you lead yourself when you're holding space for others, what you're assuming unconsciously as you hold space for other human beings, how you bring your tools to the table, your expertise and your wisdom to the table. It's impacted by your teachers and coaches and mentors of the past, but also of the present. And this is why being really clear on the type of messaging that we expose ourselves to on a regular basis is so vitally important. Because especially if you're somebody, you're an empath, you desire to be of service to others, you hold space for others, it's not just you that's impacted by what you consume, it's also them, your clients, your loved ones. And so for this week's episode, I invite you to take a trip back in time, to take a moment, and I invite you to do this on a quarterly basis, potentially even more regularly, to pause and reflect. because something natural and innate within us, it's something on a biological level. We have the tendency to focus a lot on the goal we're moving towards, the experience we're moving towards, what comes next. And we can lose sight of everything that's already happened. And often when we focus on everything that's already happened, it's the bad things, the traumas. Those stick in our memories. For those of you who love the science, you'll potentially know this, that when you go to sleep at night, the stronger the emotion, the more likely it will be impressed on subconscious. Whether the emotion is traumatic or the emotion is joy, excitement, happiness. The stronger the emotion, the more likely you will remember the thing. This is why celebrating your achievements, the small wins, having the emotion, will help to impress this on memory. So that the way that your mind is formed and how you see yourself and your achievements and your growth and your happiness, more and more focus on this is impressed onto subconscious. Because natural tendency is we focus a lot on the negative, right? This is partly biology, not just societal programming. So I invite you to pause and reflect. Acknowledge how far you've already come. Allow yourself to remember some of the incredible teachers you have had in your life. Some of them won't have had the label of teacher. Some of them potentially have even been clients of yours. You might be able to hear my cat cleaning himself in the background. Sometimes it's people who don't realize they are teachers who bring the most profound lessons to us. And take into account that you are likely that for others. So when you finish listening to this, take a few moments and allow your mind to travel back. Maybe pick a point in time. Connect with all of the moments that have impacted you in positive ways. It won't always have been positive experiences that impacted you in positive ways. Sometimes the hardest ones are. They're the ones that make you grow the most. They're the ones that make you refuse to tolerating some of the bad stuff. So they push you to grow, they push you to create change, they push you to do something differently. And as you do this, connect with the feeling of gratitude towards yourself for how many times you've leaned in, you've listened, you've committed, you've been courageous, you've been present. And also send out gratitude to all of the people that have helped you along your journey in some way. And as you connect with your present moment, acknowledging how much good is already in your life. Because it doesn't matter how many milestones you hit if you can't be happy in the present, grateful for what you already have. It doesn't matter what you get, it will always be the same. Something I love to do at the end of these sorts of practices is to connect with the feeling of the heart center, the feeling of the middle of the chest, and to repeat these two words slowly 3 times. Thank you, thank you, thank you.